Beis Amid Aleph. Keitzad edim nasin zomim. So, the first part of Maseches Malos is going to talk about edim zomim. Edim zomim are witnesses who testified about somebody else, and then they were found in a very specific situation. They were found to be lying, but not just lying. They were found to be lying with the statement, how is it possible that you could testify you were with us in the cottage? So I testify that you did something wrong that you'd be chayiv misa for. Two other people come and say, Rabbi, how could you testify you were with us in the cottage? When you claim you saw him on Sunday at 12 o'clock, you were with us in the cottage on Sunday at 12 o'clock. And Lamaisa, Edim Zomin says that whatever I tried to inflict on you, whatever damage I tried to do to you, whatever punishment you would have gotten, I end up getting for myself. That's a case of Eid Zomim. And as we're going to see in the Mishnah in just a second, there are certain cases where we can't give me the punishment that I tried to inflict upon you for numerous reasons. And that's what we're going to start with over here. Keitzad Edim Nasa Zomim. How do you have Edim that becomes Zomim in Edim? So if I come to court and I testify that the doctor is, who's supposed to be, everybody's been giving him Kohen for 30 years, and now I testify that he's actually the son of a Grusha. His mother was Megarish, or she was a Chalutza, she was divorced before she married his father, who was a Kohen. So Lamaisa, what that means is that when he was born, even though his father, as we'll see, continues to stay a Kohen when he marries a person that's forbidden to him, any children that they have are called Chalalim, and they're not Kohanim. So I'm testifying that you're not really a Kohen. Now obviously, if I'm not a Kohen, then there's nothing that we can do in terms of punishing me to make me a non-Kohen. But even if I'm a Kohen, we don't punish me by saying, well, I tried to take away your kahunaship, and therefore, since I was found to be lying by Eid Zomim, we're going to take away my kahunaship. Rather, what do? Let's loke arbaim, and we'll see exactly why. It's based on a pasuk. So we give me 39 lashes. So even though I tried to take away your kahunaship, we're not going to punish me by taking away my kahunaship if I'm a Kohen. We're going to give me 39 lashes. Furthermore, so if we're going to say that you're chayiv liglos, if I say that you killed somebody b'shogeg, we know that if you kill somebody by accident, so you go into galus. So I testify that you killed somebody by accident, and you're chayiv to go into galus, into a near miklat. And then two other edim come and say, Rabbi, you were with us in the cottage on Sunday at 12 o'clock. You couldn't have seen him kill somebody by accident. So you would think that we send me to galus. Says the Gemara, Ein omrim yegalus etachta ve'lo k'arbaim. We don't send me to galus. Rather, we go ahead and we give me 39 malchus. And we'll see exactly why that is right now in the Gemara. But first the Gemara says, I don't understand. The Gemara is giving an example of cases where the people are not real edim zomim. That means they're edim zomim, but usually the case of edim zomim is I come and I testify about you, I'm lying, I was in the cottage, and Lamaisi, we're going to punish me by giving me the penalty that I tried to impose on you. But these two examples in the Mishnah are not those cases. These two examples are where we're not giving me the penalty that I tried to impose on you. We dafka are giving me malchus instead of the penalty. So it should have said, Keitzad ein edim nasin zomimin. What is an example of a case where the edim are not considered to be a regular case of edim zomimin? And furthermore, ve'od midiktani l'kaman, later on in the Masechta, it's going to say, Aval amr lahamei chatamid nisharei be'oso yom atamayitim imanu v'makom ploni hari elu zomimin miklal de elu ein zomimin. And furthermore, the Torah is actually, the Gemara is actually going to tell us what's an example, or what's the case of edim zomimin. It's when other people come and say, Rabbi, how did you testify about that? You were with us in the cottage. So we already have another Mishnah which is going to say, Keitzad edim zomin. What's an example? Again, that's a little different. That's not the punishment. That's just the mitzias of how it happens. But we have an example of Keitzad edim zomin. So Lamai said, this Mishnah is just a weird language. It's weird that it's here, and it's a weird language. Keitzad edim nasin zomimim. Should have said, Keitzad edim einam nasim zomim. What's an example of a case where they don't get exactly the punishment that they deserve? Says the Gemara, Tana Hasam Kai. You're right, but you're wrong, because this is going still from Maseches Sanhedrin. All of Gemara is attached. It's all connected. This is still working off of Maseches Sanhedrin. What did it say in Maseches Sanhedrin? It says, Kol azomin magdin lo samitza chutz mizomin bas kohen ubal Hashem magdin lo samitza l'mitza acheres. Now again, as we'll see, the whole basis of this parak is kasher zamam. Torah says that you do to an eid zomim, this witness, you do kasher zamam, whatever he wanted to do to somebody else. That's what you do to him. So we know from Sanhedrin that in general, the punishment for committing adultery is what? Skila sreifa herek chenek. What? Sorry. Usually, one second. Usually it's herek, right? I think it's usually herek. Over here it's sreifa, and by the bas kohen it's going to be chenek for the boala. No, so it's usually chenek, I'm sorry. Usually it's chenek. Usually it's chanek. That's what I thought. Usually it's chanek. When a bas kohen is mizaneh, when she is married and she's a bas kohen, she gets a special punishment of sreifa. So what do you do now when you have a guy who commits adultery with a bas kohen who's married? So he's going to get chanek. She's going to get sreifa. What do you do if you have an eid zomim now in that case? So now I came to testify about this bas kohen and her adulterer. So now, based on my testimony, they're going to get two different punishments. One, I testify about somebody, and they're going to get a punishment, so I get that punishment if I'm found to be if I'm found to be an eid zomim. What do you do when you're going to cause two different punishments? So one would have thought that you would get the more serious one. Comes along the Gemara in Sanhedrin and Daf Tzadi and says, "What do you do?" Well, the pasuk says, as Rashi says, "Kasher zamam lasos le'achiv." We give you what you tried to do la'achiv. So in general, la'achiv, it doesn't matter. Achiv is a man, achiv is a woman, no problem. Whatever you tried to do to the other person, we do to you. But we make a diuk that when it's the other people are man and woman, and they're getting different punishments, this specific case, then you do kasher zamam lasos la'achiv, to the man, and not to the woman. So the Gemara there says that there's a case of an eid zomim where you don't exactly get the punishment that you tried to inflict. Because in that case, you tried to inflict sreif on one hand, and you tried to inflict chenek on the other hand, and we're going to give you, obviously we can't give you the exact punishment you tried to inflict, because you tried to inflict two different punishments, we can't give you both, so we're going to end up giving you chenek based on kasher zamam lasos la'achiv. That's what the Gemara in Sanhedrin says. Working off of that there are certain cases, i.e. the bas kohen who's married, who commits adultery, and then I'm an eid zomim in that case. There are certain cases where I'm not going to give exactly the same punishment that I tried to inflict. Now, the Gemara, the Mishnah here, works off of that in the next Masechta and say, and there's even some cases where we're not going to be able to give any punishment besides for a new punishment, i.e. Malchus. So in that case, you pick one of the two that you try to inflict. Here, we can't even inflict what he wanted to inflict, as we'll see in a second why. And Lamaisa, we're going to give a different one, which is going to be Malchus. That's what the Gemara says. Kol ha-zomim makdinin la'osa mitzvah. Whenever you're zomim, you get the misa you try to inflict. Chutz mi zomim bas kohen ubala. She'ein makdimin la'osa mitzvah ela l'misa acheres. You don't give that misa that you tried to inflict on the girl. Rather, you give a misa acheres. You get chenek. And now this Mishnah comes and says, and I'll tell you an even bigger chiddush. There are certain cases of eid zomim where you don't even do any hazama for them. You don't give them anything that they try to inflict. Ela malchus abarim, rather malchus. Ketza, what's an example? Meidin anu bishponishu ben grusha ben chalutza. Eino mim yasazeh ben grusha ben chalutza tachtav. Ela lokes harabayim. So it's interesting. The order is interesting. Why that's in Sanhedrin, why this is here, why this is here, fine. But it comes that there are two really different, that there are really three different cases. There's a regular case of eid zomim, where I go ahead and I testify that you're chayiv that you're chayiv skila, you turn on the light on Shabbos with edim and asrah, I was there. And now we're found that I was lying, I was in the cottage. Again, the very specific case where they say you were with us in the cottage. That case, I get skila. There's a lower case where, Lamaisa, I testify that you're a bas kohen who was married and you were committed adultery with a man. So now you're chayiv sreifa, he's chayiv chenek. There's a lower case where we say we're not going to be able to give me sreifa. We're going to give me the chenek because it says that kasher zamam lasos le'achiv. So that's the second case. And the even lower case, quote unquote, is when I wanted to inflict you. You were Kohen. You're married to a grusha. You're married to a ben, or we say that your father was married to a grusha. And Lamaisa, I'm coming to testify that you're no longer a Kohen, and we find that I'm lying and I'm a Kohen. We don't do what I tried to inflict. Rather, we give me Malchus. So the three different possibilities: we do exactly what I tried to inflict. We pick one of the two that I tried to inflict, or we give Malchus. So the first two we understand, because again, the first one is based on kasher zamam. You do exactly what you try to inflict. The second one, where we have to choose between sreifa and chenek. Why did we choose the chenek? We said lasos la'achiv. We do to which one the man was going to get, not the woman. Now the question becomes, well, if I'm excluded from the pasuk of kasher zamam because Lamaisa, we're not going to make me into a ben grusha, ben chalutza, I'm not going to make me into a kohen that's disqualified. Why is that? Why do we not disqualify me as a kohen? Why do we not send me to Gullus? And why are we giving me Malchus instead? That's the question the Gemara is going to deal with now. Says the Gemara, where do we see that I can't go ahead and I can't take away the kahunaship of the eid zomim? Maybe enachanami. I tried to take away your kahunaship, take away my kahunaship. Says Gemara, we have a problem. Again, technical problem with the psukim. Amar Rabbi ben Levi, the Amar Krok, because the pasuk says, "Vasisem lo kasher zamam lo velo lizaro." What happens when I try to say that your father married a grusha? That makes you no longer a Kohen. What does that do to your kids? They're no longer Kohanim. What happens now if we give me the punishment that I tried to impose on you and we say that I'm no longer a Kohen? What happens to my kids? They're no longer Kohanim. Problem is, says the Gemara, the pasuk says, "Va'asisem lo," that the punishment needs to be you do to the person who testified, i.e., me, the eid zomim. But by making me not a Kohen, who else are we affecting?
Children.
My kids. That's not acceptable. V'asisem lo v'lo lazaro. Says the Gemara, "V'lifsu l'didei v'lo lifsu l'lazaris." I have a perfect thing to do. So make me pasul, but keep my kids Kohanim. Just say you are pasul. Says the Gemara, you can't do that either because ba'inan kasher zamam lasos v'leka. Because the beginning of the pasuk says v'asisem lo, or the second part of the pasuk says v'asisem lo kasher zamam. So we need to do exactly what I tried to impose. What did I try to impose on you? That you should be a halal and your kid should be a halal. We can't impose on me, so we're stuck. Because of the beginning part of the, what do we do? We give malchus. That's what the Gemara is saying. We give malchus instead. That's the Mishnah. What? Small penalty. You try it. V'asisem lo kasher zamam. We're stuck. We need to do only to me and not to my kids. But if we do only to me and not to my kids, it's not kasher zamam. So we're stuck. So what do we do when we're stuck? We give malchus. And we'll explain in the Gemara exactly why malchus, or where there's a remes for malchus. But that's why we can't give the penalty when I try to say that you're a ben gusha ben chutz, that you're not a kohen. That's the answer. Says Bar Pada, Omer kal v'chomer. No, I'll give you another reason. Not because of the pasuk v'asisem lo kasher zamam. And we're going to reject this in just a second. It says kal v'chomer. Uma ha-mechalel eino mischalel. It's interesting. If a father marries a grusha and has a child, so the child becomes a halal, is not a kohen. What happens to the father who marries a grusha? What happens to his kohenship?
No more kohen.
No, yes he is. If a person marries a grusha, he remains a kohen, and his children suffer. He remains a kohen. I don't know, whatever. It's officially he remains a kohen, and his children suffer. So he's saying a kal v'chomer. I understand how we're not going to make me the eid zomim. We're not going to take away my kahunaship. This kohen who marries a grusha and his kids suffer, we don't take away his kahunaship. Habal chalel velo chilel. Me who tried to take away your kahunaship and I wasn't successful because I was caught. Eino din shelo yischalel. This guy who actually took away his kid's kahunaship, he's not getting punished for taking away his kahunaship. Me who tried to take away your kahunaship and I got caught, we're going to take away my kahunaship. Kal v'chomer not. Says Ravina, Maskala Ravina, what are you talking about? Ridiculous argument. Imkain batalta Torah's edim zomimin. Then you took away the whole edim zomimin. Why? Because if you're going to start throwing kal v'chomers around, then you're going to get rid of the whole concept of eid zomim. Why? Uma hasokel eino niskal. Because we know another interesting halacha by eid zomim. We know, and again, this is based on a pasuk, because in Sfara it doesn't make sense. The halacha is that if I come and say that the doctor is chayiv skila, and I'm not caught, and we kill you based on my testimony, then two edim come and say you were with us in the cottage, eid zomim does not apply. Because the pasuk says, kasher zamam, what I had intended to do to you, velo kasher asa, says the Rashi. Not as I actually did to you. Even though it's Svara, it makes no sense. It's a diuk in the pasuk. In Svara, if you got killed based on my testimony and I'm caught lying, for sure I should get killed. What my penalty will be, that's a separate discussion. But we're saying that over here, eid zomim doesn't make sense in general. If I testify that you're chayiv skila and I'm caught before you're killed, then I get killed. But if I'm not caught before you're killed, then I don't get killed. Uma hasokel eino niskal. If in a case where I testify and you get killed based on my testimony, I'm not killed because l'maisa the pasuk says there's a diuk in the pasuk that says kasher zamam velo kasher asa habal iskol velo sakal eino din shelo yiskal. So then the whole concept of eid zomim makes no sense at all. How could it be that if you get killed based on my testimony, I'm not going to get killed, but if I just tried to kill you and I wasn't successful, I am going to get killed? But that's the whole concept of ein zomim. So kal v'chomers by ein zomim doesn't make sense. We don't understand the svara necessarily. So once the concept of kal v'chomers don't fit into ein zomim, you can't start bringing me kal v'chomers by a case of ein zomim. Ela mechaverta kedishaninan meikara. Rather, we must throw out bar pada and say you can't make a kal v'chomer ma mischalel eino. Just like if the father marries a grusha, we don't take away his kahunaship, we can't take away my kahunaship. No, that's not a reason why I can't be taken away my kahunaship. What's the reason we don't take away my kahunaship when I am an ein zomim in your case? Because kasher zamam lasos lo. Because we're stuck. Because if we make me a non-Kohen, then it affects my kids, which we're not allowed to do. And if we just do me, then it's not kasher zamam. So we throw out our prada, we say that the whole concept of eid zomim is not based on kal v'chomer. It goes against logic. The fact that I would only get punished if I try to hurt you, but I don't actually succeed in hurting you. Says the Gemara, that's why. So if I ask you, why is it that in the case of ben gusha ben chalutza, when I try to take away your kahunaship, why is it that I don't get my kahunaship taken away? Because the pasuk says kasher zamam lasos lo lo v'lo lazaro.
Do we have a concept of the halach has to apply the same to everyone? Because, for example, if you're not a Kohen and you testify and you're eid zomim, you can't get. There's no way you can get the punishment.
you're still going to get malchus there.
No, I understand that. I'm just saying is that, wouldn't, is there this kind of idea that since, you're making distinctions, some people get one punishment, some people get another punishment for the same act?
So you're saying you want to argue the reason that he doesn't get it because you don't want to make distinctions.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like it. It sounds like the Gemara was willing to make distinctions. Yeah, and you'll see later in the Gemara also it'll make a svar like that. Fine. So that's the first thing. Minani b'shponish uchayev galus. So minani, Lisa, how do you know lemaisa if I tried to send you to galus, I testify that you killed somebody b'shogeg? Where do we see that we don't actually send me to galus? Another diuk in the pasuk. Amar shalgish damar kra hu yanu salacha saharim. Because it says that the person who kills b'shogeg needs to go to one of the arim. Hu v'lo mazomimin. He and not the zomimin. It's a diuk in the pasuk. You're right. In svara we should have sent me to galus as well. But lemaisa the pasuk says hu yanus mi and not zomin. Well, we're not going to let me get off the hook. So what do we do to me? We give me malchus. Rabbi Yochanan amar kal v'chomer, which again we're going to reject in a second. Rabbi Yochanan says kal v'chomer. What's a kal v'chomer? Uma hu sha'asa ma'aseh b'mezid eino gola. Says kal v'chomer that I'm not going to go to the Ir Miklat. Now in this part of the Gemara is assuming that going to an Ir Miklat is a bad thing. In just a second, it's going to assume that it's a good thing. But at this point, it's assuming that it's a punishment to have to go to an Ir Miklat. A person who kills b'mezid, if I take a thing and I'm b'mezid without edim-witnesses, because if I kill you with edim-witnesses, I get killed. If I b'mezid, go ahead and I walk into a building and I kill somebody. What happens to me? I don't go to an Ir Miklat. What exactly happens to me is a good question. I get kares. Unclear. I'm not going to get killed. I only get killed with warning and everything. If I go b'mezid, I don't go to an Ir Miklat. So the Gemara is saying that if a person who kills b'mezid doesn't go to an Ir Miklat, hein shelo asu ma'aseh b'mezid eno din shelo yiglu. They did do a ma'aseh here b'mezid, but there wasn't a ma'aseh because we said that in general dibor is not a ma'aseh. So you, assuming that it's galus is a punishment, you who killed b'mezid didn't have to go to galus, didn't have to go to Ir Miklat. Me, who just said a few words about you, which would have caused you to go into a galus, and I was caught, you're going to send me to this punishment of an Ir Miklat? It makes no sense. A guy who kills b'mezid doesn't even have to go. You're going to send me as an eid zomim into Ir Miklat? Says the Gemara, you're looking at it wrong. V'hiano senes, no. Husha asa ma'aseh b'mezid lo ligli ki hechido tahavi le kapara. No, the opposite. Going into the Ir Miklat is actually a good thing. It gives you a kapara. It gives you an atonement that God's not going to hurt you otherwise. He's not going to harm you. He's not going to punish you otherwise. So a guy who kills b'mezid, we're not going to go ahead and give him the chance to have a kapara by going to an Ir Miklat. However, hein shelo asa ma'aseh b'mezid nami ligli ki hechido tahavi le kapara. But maybe we would say that an eid zomim will go into an Ir Miklat so that he could have a kapara, because what he did was not as bad. It wasn't great, but it wasn't as bad because he only did a mice, he only did a dibor. He only wanted to use his mouth to get you to the Ir Miklat. Rather, it can't be based on a kal vachomer for the reason that a guy doesn't go. Based on kal vachomer, really the eid zomim should go into the Ir Miklat. Says the Gemara, ela mechaverta kid Reish Lakish. Rather, we go like Reish Lakish. And if I ask you, why does an eid zomim who testifies that another person is chayav galus, does he not go into an Ir Miklat? Based on a diuk and a pasuk. Hu yanus el achas harim. So you have two diukim and psukim. That's the reason. Reason Ben Grusha is based on the diuk and a pasuk. Reason that the guy who's an eid zomim for galus doesn't go to galus is because of a diuk in the pasuk. So now we've explained these two things. Now the Gemara says, Amar Ula, remez edim zomin matar menan. Where do we have a remez for edim zomin matar? The Gemara says, what kind of question is that? Remez edim zomin v'haksiva sisem lo kasher zman. What do you mean, where do you have a remez? There's a mefurish pasuk that says that you do to the guy what you want to do. So he says, no, that's not what I meant. Ela remez edim zomin shalokin minatar minayin. Means we just spent the last 20 minutes explaining why a Ben Grusha doesn't go based on a pasuk. He doesn't get his kuniship taken away. If I testify as an eid zomim, I don't get my kuniship taken away. And we explain why lemaisa I don't go to galus as an eid zomim. But where do we see that I should get malchus instead? Maybe I just got around the system. I beat the system. I testified specifically about you that you're a Ben Grusha. I found a Kohen I don't like, and I knew that I was going to be able to get around the system. How do we know that I get malchus as a punishment? Says Gemara, Dichsiv, because the pasuk says v'tztiku es hasadik v'hirshiu es harasha, and the very next pasuk says v'yayim ben akos harasha. You make the tzaddik into a tzaddik, and you make the rasha into a rasha. And then the rasha gets malchus. Mishum v'tztiku es hasadik v'hirshiu es harasha v'yayim ben akos harasha. So as Rashi explained, he says, if this is talking about judges, the judges make the tzaddik into a tzaddik and the rasha into the rasha, and the rasha gets malchus. What's this whole story about the tzaddik into a tzaddik and a rasha into a rasha? Just say, the judges judge, and they give a rasha malchus if he's chayav malchus. What's this making a tzaddik into a tzaddik and rasha into a rasha? What's the connection? Not every time you say somebody's innocent and you make a tzaddik into a tzaddik, there's no malchus in every case. So where's this making a tzaddik into a tzaddik and a rasha into a rasha where there's malchus involved? So listen to this beautiful drasha in the pasuk. This is not the pasuk shot in the pasuk, but this is the beauty of Gemara. Ella, what is it? What does the pasuk mean? Edim shehir shiu et tzaddik. Edim, i.e. me, an Eid Zomim came and I made you the tzaddik who did nothing wrong into a rasha by claiming that you did something wrong. Ve'asu Edim achrinu ve'etztiku es ha-tzaddik d'meikara v'shavinu lahani rishayim. And then other Edim come and say, you were with us in the cottage, and they restore you to your tzidkus and they make me into a rasha. V'haya im ben hakos harasha. Then we make me the rasha and we give me malchus if I can't get the penalty otherwise. That's how we learn. V'tztiku et ha-tzaddik v'yeshiras harasha is talking about when these other Edim come and they restore your tzidkus to you and they make me into a rasha. V'haya im ben hakos harasha. If we can't give me the penalty that I tried to impose, i.e. when I tried to impose ben grusha ben chalutza, i.e. when I tried to impose galus upon you, we can't give that to me because of what we just said based on the diuk in the psukim. What do we do there? In that case, then we do v'haya im ben hakos harasha. Beautiful. In that case, then we give malchus to me. That's the pshat in the Torah. Says the Gemara, what do you have to go through this whole fancy drasha? It's beautiful, but what do you have to go through this whole fancy drasha? At the end of the Aseret Dibra, it says, Lo saneh b'rechai shaker. Don't be a false witness. What's the penalty for a lo saseh in the Torah? Malchus. So in a case where it says, Vasisem lo kasher zamam, that I have to do what we tried to do to you, I tried to get you to get skila, we're going to give me skila. But maybe we'll say in a default case like ben grusha ben chalutza, sending you to Golis, where lamaisa, based on the psukim, we can't do the same thing to me. So I still testified falsely. What should the penalty be? Malchus. What do I need to go with this whole fancy thing? Says there's one problem. Mishum de have lav shem b'maisa v'chol lav shem b'maisa ein lokin alav. Because we're not going to give me malchus for testifying falsely about you, because dibor, as we said, is not a maisa. And we said the malchus only comes for lav sheyesh b'maisa. This lav of lo taneh b'rechai shakar, you never get malchus for it. Because even though it says you can't be a false witness, when you're a false witness, it's with your mouth. And when your mouth, when you do something that doesn't have a maisa, it's not considered to have a maisa, you can't get malchus. So how do we know that these guys, the Edomim, get malchus? Specifically from the pasuk, v'tztiku et tzaddik v'shiras harasha.
So what is he, chayv min hashamayim?
For what? A regular aid shakar, it's chayv min hashamayim. I was going through this. It ends up coming out, I was just doing this last night. It ends up that there's 122 out of the 365 lo saseis. There's 122 if you look at the Rambam and you look at the count. 122 where there's no malchus for. Not that there's no maisa. Even some of them that have maisas, there's no malchus. There's malchus beit-din. No, that's separate. And that's also separate. That's considered to be d'Rabbanan. There's misas beit-din, which is 36. There's things that are just malchus, which is like 168 or something. And then there are other ones that are karei / misa b'dei shamayim, i.e. malchus, but at the end of the day, there's 122 which don't get anything, quote unquote. What happens there, I don't know exactly. But included in that list would be a lav shem b'maisa.
I don't understand. You said that false witnesses, just from the sort of get malchus?
Do not. They can't, because a witness by general is not doing an action. Therefore, we wanted to suggest that this guy who's an Eid Zomim, when we can't give him any other penalty, we should give him malchus, based on lo saneh b'rechai shakar. Says the Gemara, we can't do that, because a person who testifies falsely in this Aseret Dibros doesn't get malchus, because it's not a maisa. Therefore, the reason that this guy who's an Eid Sheker is going to get, as an Eid Zomim, is going to get malchus, is because of the other parts of it. That's what the Gemara is saying. Based on another diuk. Really, this was a lav shem b'maisa. Really, mitzvah, the regular general rules of the Torah, I should not be getting malchus for this. Kasher zamam, fine. We do kasher zamam. But you can't do kasher zamam to me now. I got around the system. No, there's another pasuk for this specific case, v'ayayim ben hakos harasha. Even though it's a lav shem b'maisa, even though you got around the system, there's a separate pasuk that God put in there that says, you're going to get malchus in this case. That's what the Gemara is saying. Tana Rabbanan. Daled dvarim nemru beidim zomin. There's 4 things beidim zomin, and we just mentioned 2 of them. Ein nasin ben gusha ben chalutza, rather they get malchus. Ein golden lari miklat, rather they get malchus. Ein mishalmin es hakofer, they don't pay the kofer, and ein nimkarim be'evid ivri, they don't get sold as an evid ivri. And we'll talk about these in just a second. Mishum Rabbi Akiva amru, a 5th one, af ein mishalmin al piatzman. So let's see what this means. Ein nasin ben gusha ben chalutza kedamran, ve'ein golden lari miklat kedamran, ve'ein mishalmin es hakofer. What's that case of kofer? If you have a shore that has gored 3 times before, now it's considered to be a shore muad, and it goes ahead and kills somebody now. You were warned and it kills somebody. What happens? So the shore gets killed, and it says, V'gam ba'alav yumas. Now we know we don't actually kill the owner. What do we do to the owner? We make him pay a kofer, which is a ransom. That's what the Gemara says. So ve'ein mishalmin es hakofer. It's not really, I don't know if that's the right word, a ransom. We make him pay a redemption. Ve'ein mishalmin es hakofer. Kisavre kofar kafra. So the question is, if I go ahead and I testify in court that your shor muad killed somebody, so what am I causing you to do? I'm causing you to have to pay a kofar for your value. You should really be dying, quote unquote. You have to pay a kofar. Says the Gemara that if I'm caught as an eid zomim, I don't pay a kofar. What do? Seemingly, I'm going to get malchus. Sounds like it. That's what it sounds like. It would still be Rasha. That would be a case where of an eid zomim. Why do I not go ahead and pay kofar? Kisavre kufra kafra. Because seemingly the kufra is a kapara. That means that if you look at the last skinny line, lechaper al zeh shaharak shoras adam. This kapara, this kufra, this payment that you're paying as the owner of the shore in a regular case without edim zomimin, v'hani la b'nei kaparnin shaloharak shoram adam. You're right. I tried to make you have to pay that kaf, but that money was specifically a kapara for your shore killing somebody. When I tried to make you go ahead and pay, my shore didn't kill anybody. I testified falsely, but my shore didn't kill anybody. So we can't say that that kapara transfers to me. So what do we have to do? Instead, I get malchus. V'hani la b'nei kapara ninu. Mantana kufra kafra. Who says that when you pay for your shore killing somebody, a muad, it's actually a kufra kafra? It's like a ransom, it's a redemption. Amrav Chisda Rab Yishmael ben Osher Rabbi Yochanan ben Broki, Tanya. V'natan pidyon nafsho. That same pasuk says in Kofi Shodafav, v'natan pidyon nafsho. You have to give a redemption for your nefesh, demei nizak. Rabbi Yishmael ben Osher Rabbi Yochanan ben Broki, Omer, demei mazik. So at this point in the Gemara, we have a machlokas. The Tanakama says that when your shore kills somebody, you have to give a certain amount as a ransom, let's just say, or a redemption. How much do you give? Tanakama says you give the value of the person that your shore killed. Rabbi Shmuel says you give the value of yourself. Says the Gemara, what they seem to be arguing about is that the Tanakama says kufr mamona. This payment that you're paying now is not a redemption of yourself, because if it was a redemption of yourself, how much would you pay? Your own value. If I need to redeem my value and to say I'm really chayav misa, but I'm going to have to pay my value to redeem myself, it would make sense to redeem yourself based on your own value. If I'm telling you, or if the Tanakhama is saying when you need to pay, what do you need to pay? This is besides for damages, I think. Somebody asked me in the first year. I think this is besides for damages. I think everyone would say you still got to pay the family of the person that was killed damages for killing them, boshet, tsar, ripoy, all that stuff. In addition to that, it sounds like there's another payment, which is a kufra, which is im kofer yishad alav. It's a redemption. So the question is, what are we treating that? Is that an actual kapara? Is that something that's literally a redemption for your life? Or is it something that it's just like an additional payment? So the Tanakama sounds like it's an additional payment. Because why would we be going based on how much he was worth if it was actually a redemption? Rabbi Shmuel says you have to literally redeem yourself so that you don't get killed. That's why we say demei mazik. We need to take your value. Says the Gemara, Amar Papa Lo, no. The Kulei Alma Kufra Kafra. And again, because if it was Kufra Mamona, then we'd be able to say, if in fact you hold Kufra Mamona, that it's just it's sort of like a penalty or something, and it's not a redemption, then it doesn't matter that my shore didn't kill anybody. And then as an eid zomim, according to that opinion, I'd have to actually pay you that amount within that mandamar. Gemara says no, that everybody agrees that this is actually a redemption for your life. Which makes sense. We're supposed to kill you because your shore killed somebody and it was already warned 3 times. The shore is dead. We should really kill you as well. But we don't want to go around killing people. So what do? We're going to make you redeem yourself. Get out of jail or get out of death. So how are we going to go ahead? So what do you mean? So why would we evaluate your value based on the person that you killed? Says the Gemara, Says the Gemara, I understand the second opinion. That if you need to redeem yourself, really you should die. But you need to redeem yourself. So it makes sense, b'demazik shamina, the second opinion, that we need to go to the marketplace, see how much you're worth, how much you would be sold for, and you need to give that amount of money to redeem yourself from death. That I understand. That's the second opinion. But according to the Tanakhama, if in fact you're redeeming yourself from death, why would we go ahead and see how much the person that you killed was worth? What's the pshat? Says the Gemara, you're right. In Svara, it makes no sense according to Rabbanan. Really, we should go based on your value. The problem is, Nemar Hashata Lamata, Nemar Hashata Lamala. Mala Halam B'dinizak, Afkam B'dinizak. The problem is we have a Gezerat Shava to another pasuk. Pasuk says that if 2 people are fighting, and there's a pregnant woman sitting there, and they kill the fetus of the pregnant woman, they need to pay the value of the fetus. And he uses the same word of Yushat. So therefore, you're right. In Svara, it makes more sense to say like the second opinion. That if you're going to be redeeming yourself and you really should be dying, you need to give your value to the family, seemingly. But what do you want us to do, says the Rabbanan? We have a Gezerat Shava to another pasuk that uses the same word of Yushat. And in that case, how do we value how much the men who killed the baby have to pay? By checking the value of the victim. Therefore, over here, you're right. You are redeeming yourself, but you do so based on the value of the victim, even though in Svara it doesn't necessarily make sense. Says Rabbi Shmuel, v'natan pidyon nafsho ksiv. Rabbi Shmuel says, no, it says you give the pidyon of yourself. Yes, you have a nice Gzeirat Shava, but we ignore the Gzeirat Shava here because you have a Mefurish Pasuk that says you need to redeem yourself. How do you redeem yourself? By paying your value. Says Gemara, Rabbanan in pidyon nafsho ksiv. You're right. Miyu ki shamina b'denizek shamina. It seems to be a machlokas of which is stronger. Is ki pidyon nafsho, the actual pasuk here which says you need to redeem your soul. That's stronger and it pushes away the Gzeirat Shava. Or according to the second opinion, the Gzeirat Shava is stronger. And even so it says you need to redeem your soul. Yes, but how do you do that with the Gzeirat Shava? By giving the value of the nizak. But again, for our purposes, not to lose track of what we're trying to do here, everybody agrees that the penalty, or what's going on here, is that when you're sure kill somebody, you need to pay, besides for all the damage, you need to pay a kapara. You need to go ahead and redeem yourself because you should have died. Now, if I come along and I try to claim falsely as an eid zomim and I'm caught that you're sure killed somebody, so the Gemara is saying it makes no sense to impose that penalty. Because at the end of the day, if it's basically about you redeeming yourself, then you can't transfer that redeeming yourself onto me. If I tried to kill you with skila, then we can transfer the killing. You tried to kill him, we're going to kill you. But if it's all about redeeming yourself, we can't transfer that and say, okay, Rabbi, now you need to redeem yourself. What do you mean I need to redeem myself? My shore didn't kill anybody. Therefore, what do we do here? The penalty is malchus. That's what the Gemara says. So this is the third case, Ben Gusha Ben Chalutza, the case of, again, Galus, and now this case of testifying that the shore muad killed somebody where there has to be a kapara, the redemption for your soul. That case where I can't redeem myself because my shore didn't kill anybody, that case as well, we're going to give me malchus. Let's just do the last case. Says the Gemara, Ve'enim karin be'eved ivri. If I go ahead and I testify again that you stole money from somebody, so lemaisa, if I'm not caught, let's say I'm telling you the truth. So if you stole money, you have to return it. What happens if you don't have any money? You get sold as an eved ivri. So let's say I come and testify that you owe money to somebody and you have no money. Now I'm caught as an eid zomim. So do I get malchus? Or if we're going to do kasher zamam, what should happen to me? I should get sold. No, I should get sold as an eved ivri. Says the Gemara, well, savra anu lemeimar hani mili hecha de islay lididei demigo de iulo nizdavin inhu nami lo mizdavnu aval hecha de laslay lididei avagav de isul liditu mizdavnu. Says the Gemara, I understand. The Gemara is saying, yes, you're right, but that's only where he has money. If I come and I say he stole money, and Lamaisa, we look into it, and we believe me, and I would say, okay, you owe money. So now, if you have money, what did I try to do to you? In essence, in the Metzius of this case, if you have money, what did I try to do? I tried to make you have to pay money to them. So what's my punishment going to be? I'm going to have to pay money to you, or to whoever. I'm going to have to pay money to you. If you don't have money in Metzius, what would have happened had I not been found to be an eid zomim? You would have had to sell yourself. Therefore, in that case, when you don't have money, we're going to go ahead and sell me as an eved ivri. So when it says that we don't sell me as an eved ivri, that's only when you have money. But if you don't have money, we're going to sell me as an eved ivri. Now the Gemara comes with a big chiddush. Says Rava, well, let's say you don't have money. So you would have been sold as an eved ivri, we're going to sell me as an eved ivri. Says the Gemara, but I could still come up with a svara. The fact that you don't have money, that's your problem. Yes, I have money though. So Lamaisa, I should be able to redeem myself. That means, yes, I should be sold as an eved ivri if we're going to do kasher zamam. But lamaisa, I have money here, so let me pay. Now, what's wrong with that svara? What's wrong with that svara is that I tried to get you sold as an eved ivri. Lamaisa, you didn't have money. The Gemara says that's okay. That's enough of a svara. Ela savra of nuna lemeimar hani mili hecha de islay olidide olididhu aval hecha de leslay lolidide velolididhu mizdavne. So at this point, Rav Amnuna says the following. We're going to stop at the two dots. Rav Amnuna says that we're going to make another clarification. When I come and testify that you stole money, whether you have money, if you happen to have money that you'll be able to pay back, or if I have money, that if I'm caught or that had I been accused of stealing money, I would have been able to pay, even though in Sfarad it doesn't make sense. But either if you have money or if I have money, then in that case, what am I going to do? In that case, I'm going to get malchus. But if you don't have money and I don't have money, so there's no tinus here, and I come to court and I say, you stole money, and now if I had not been caught, you would have been sold as an eved ivri, and I can't even claim, well, I have money, so it's not fair. I don't have money either. When neither one of us has money and I'm found to be an eid zomim, what happens? I get sold as an eved ivri. So a regular case where one of us has money, Lamaisa, I'm going to get malchus when I try to get you sold as an eved ivri. In a case where neither one of us has money, then Lamaisa, I will get sold. Comes along Rava and says, no, not true. Because even in a case where neither one of us has money, and in theory I should get sold, we have Lamaisa, we have a pasuk. Says, v'nimkar b'gnevaso amrachmana, a person who steals gets sold because of his geneva if he doesn't have any money. B'gnevaso v'lo b'zamemo. It's specifically a person who steals. So again, it comes out that in 4 of these cases, based on diukim and the psukim, in 4 of these cases, there's going to be malchus and not what I tried to do. When I tried to make you and take away your kahunaship, when I tried to get you into gullus, when I tried to make you get a penalty for your shor muad killing somebody, and when I tried to go ahead and get you sold as an eved ivri, in all 4 of those cases, even though in svara we should do to me what I tried to do to you, especially in specific situations, because of diukim and all of the psukim, it's only to the person that was originally doing it. We can't do it to an edomim, and therefore, by default, because of yitztiku es hatzadik v'yeshiu es harasha v'ayayim din hakos harasha, in all 4 of these cases, me, the edomim, when caught, is going to get malchus.